Hi friends, welcome back to Acting Like an Actor. I'm your host, Sophie Jordan Collins, and this week we have on actor Jeff Violette. Jeff is known for his work on series like The Billionaires Matchmaker, Destiny Had Other Plans, Falling for a Superstar, and many more. We chat about how Jeff left a comfortable career to pursue acting, how to overcome obstacles in both acting and life, the reality of imposter syndrome no matter what career field you're in. We also, of course, talk about the vertical space, traveling overseas for shows, and how you can quite literally learn the craft of acting on set. Get ready to laugh, cry, and be inspired. Okay, let's go.
Are you rich?
Are you famous?
What have you been on?
I don't really recognize you, and neither does my mom.
Can you laugh?
Can you cry on command?
I mean, you said you were an actor, man.
What's your backup plan? Is it shattered?
Dude, I'm just acting like an actor.
When I was with Kira in Lithuania, day one, we roll at the set. I think our call time was like 6 a.m. We get there. I had no lines that day. One scene, all it was me handing her a dress, and I was like, all right, well, she's like, you're done. I'm like, see you tomorrow, and she was so mad.
Yeah, actually, how was that? How was Lithuania? That whole experience?
So fun.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
it was. It was fun because also like I don't think I would have had the same experience if I didn't go with Kira, or if somebody I knew from here. So like we kind of went in together,
Right? Yeah.
And so like being like she's young and spunky, and I'm like old and like I want to go to sleep. But it was fun because it was like after we wrapped every day, we'd go out to dinner. Like me and her would go out to dinner. We call it like so like every night. It was something like to look forward to. And Lithuania was like a really neat city.
Yeah.
But that was fun. The whole crew was Lithuanian, so like they meshed together really well.
Director as well?
Yep.
Wow, so literally just you two?
A couple like supporting were from London.
Okay.
But so everybody was
Cool.
Lithuanian. So they, when you go into a set too, you can kind of tell like if they're a production house, everyone's worked together.
Yes.
Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, okay. That's always the best.
So like
yeah.
they knew what they were doing, and like the director was so much fun. Like Kira and I, like we knew each other before we went, so like
Totally.
we had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like even our off days, she's like, I want to go see Lithuania. I'm like, I haven't done any research, so like I'll just like tell me where to go.
Yeah.
Just like pull me
Right.
along. But we had
You're a tour guide.
that was exactly
Mhm.
because I was like, if you weren't here, I'd be going to sleep. Like it's 9:00.
Mhm.
But no, it was fun. It's like I also like being on location because I feel like you're more like, I don't know, me. I feel like more like locked in.
Totally. Yeah, when you're in a different country, for example. Yeah.
It's also kind of neat where I'm just like, you're getting flown there, and all of a sudden you're just like damn, like, kind of like this is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go through this little thing though where I don't want to say like what's the word, but like not I don't deserve this, but
Imposter
I'm like,
syndrome.
yeah, imposter syndrome. I'm like, you're telling me there's nobody like
Right. Why me?
Yeah.
Why not this other guy who's
Exactly.
like, no, I know. I think we all kind of go through
I'm
that.
like
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the 16-hour flight like waiting to go to my hotel and like breakfast and all that stuff. I'm just like I feel like there's somebody
right.
else who probably could have.
Did you guys mean to? Did I get
Yeah,
somebody
exactly.
else's? Like,
Yeah.
I know. I feel like we all are fully going through that. Yeah. That's why it's fun though going overseas when you know the person because you're in it together. Like
Yes.
that's the thing. I even was like reached out to about a project this month. Ooh, sorry.
Okay, popular.
Overseas. Yeah, it's from an automated message. I was offered something overseas, but I like didn't know anyone, and she wouldn't tell me who the other actors were, and it was like, no, and I was like, okay, I'm not.
Yeah,
no.
that's a
I don't
little
know.
fishy. Well, like for the Lithuania one, it was funny because I was filming over here with Fumera Films and Kirby. We were doing one,
Yes.
and while that was filming, that's kind of when Lithuania reached out. We were going back and forth,
Oh, okay.
and I knew it was Kira, so I was on set, so I didn't have a ton of time. Like I didn't have a ton of time to like. I basically got the quick details of the project, work out the fine tooth details, or with a fine tooth comb. But I didn't really have time to like talk to them on the phone a lot and get a vibe. But since I knew it was Kira, I'm like, I feel a little more comfortable. Like
Totally.
I know her.
Together.
And we get on the plane, and we were sitting next to each other on like the second flight, and I was like, so like, what are we doing here? Like, I would like. And she's like, well, she literally looked at me. She was like, well, I thought you were the one who like vets everything out. And I was like, I was on set. I thought you were the one who was going to vet everything out. And she's like, well, no, you're the one who does that. And I'm like, great. Like, we have no clue what we're walking into now. And I'm like, I looked at her. I'm like, just so you know, like, if something goes down, it's every man for himself. I'm like, all I have to. I was like,
You're on your own,
yeah. I'm like, I will leave you. This is not in the middle. I will leave the man behind. No, but it was like great. Like they were all super sweet. They like very caring. Very like took care of you. Like, you don't have a jacket. Here you go.
That's so good. You hear like, I don't know. I feel like and even like Kirby and I, we were in China and we had a great experience. But you hear horror stories of actors going overseas. So I'm like, I don't know if it depends on like the company, the experience, things like that. But I know every time I've gone overseas, I felt so blessed. Or every time I've traveled for these, I've had a good experience.
How many times have you been in China?
2 different times. Just 2 different times.
Both good?
Both of them were good. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So.
I haven't done China yet. I've gotten reached out to about Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. Fell through.
I would go to Australia for like barely.
Same. I would know.
There are certain places that I'm
Don't
like.
put that.
I know.
No, I said that. I was like, we could fill one in like Bora Bora, maybe like the Maldives. Like, give me a day player meal credit copy.
Yeah, I literally. I know.
I was like, you throw me one of those. Like, I'll go there for.
Yeah, fly me out a few days early too, and then pay for my room and stuff, and then.
Yeah, when we went to Lithuania, Kira traveled a bit after, and
Yeah, she was telling me about that. She like flew out her mom and sister
yeah.
and stuff.
So I got to meet her mom,
cool.
got to meet her sister, and
Yeah.
like she's like, "Do you want to travel after?" And like, I'm like a warm weather person.
Yeah.
Kira's a
I'm the
cold
same
weather
way.
person.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, where are we gonna go?" And she's like, where'd they go? Like Estonia, Sweden. I'm like, I don't need Eastern Europe in the winter. Like, I'm like, I'm a tropical destination.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm like, can we hit up maybe like Mykonos in like in like June? But yeah, no. So, but it was so much fun. That city was like a very old city.
Yeah,
Like
so
super
cool.
cool. We did our VO or like all our voiceover work in the prison where they filmed Stranger Things. So like
cool.
that was an interesting like place. It was like a Soviet era prison that they turned into like these restaurants and like nightclubs and offices and stuff, which was like it was an interesting vibe when you walked in. They're very proud of it, and it's like, again, they turned something very negative into something positive. But it was also a little weird walking through knowing that it was like this is the last stop.
Yeah.
For some people.
Weird energy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Has that come out yet? That show?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it did. And it came out. I forget when it came out. It came out. You know, these come out. These came out so quick.
Sometimes I feel like it just depends. Like I still have one I'm waiting on from December, but then I did one in January that we filmed in January and it came out in January. So you just never know what you're
Wait,
gonna
really?
get to. Mm-hmm.
We never know when they're coming out either.
Totally. Yeah, I know.
Like the last time I did, it came out. They advertised like it was going to come out on Saturday, and all of a sudden Friday, it's like somebody's like, "It's out." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, wish. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that one came out. That one came out fairly quick, and but like Kira and I had like a ton of fun where we were like filming, but we just like were having like a blast. Like one of my favorite scenes in it was a reel I posted on my Instagram, and somebody's like, "It looked really good." I'm like, we didn't even know. Like that was a scene where we had this little stunt scene, and I was supposed to like I save her from like the villain, run over to her, and we thought we were gonna cut before we did that next section. So me and her like just kept going, so they didn't yell cut.
Totally.
We did not know our lines at all. Made them up.
Oh, that's great.
We knew like
sometimes you need the gist of the scene.
we knew the gist of it, but like completely made it up, and like we got it, and we were like, "Are you sure?" Because that wasn't. I don't think that was it. And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
If you say so.
Yeah. I'm like, and it looked.
It
It came out great, but it was like, which yeah, like you know how it is. Like you can feel when it's good. You know, like
Totally, yeah. And that's always fun too when we get more freedom. I feel like the projects where we get more freedom turn out the best. It's the ones where they're like want it so word for word that sometimes it's like there's the ones we get roasted.
Yep. The one I just did. There was a scene where we had to. I was the villain. So I was like kind of where my whole demise was happening. Like the scene where like it all comes to realization. And my co-star was like, "Oh," like halfway through. It was a long scene. She's like, "Your microphone's showing." I'm like, "All right, then just like stop. We'll just, fix it." We'll get going. And the director, we filmed it again. The director came over and he was like, "I just want to tell you that was better than the first take." And I was like, still kind of amped. I'm like, "I know." And like then I went home and I'm like, "Oh man," I was like, didn't mean it like that. So the next day I went back, I was like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know, like, as an actor, like, you can feel, like, when it was a good scene. Like, I'm like, that's what I meant, was like, I felt that it was,
Totally. Yeah.
it was better. Like, you forget about the cameras.
Totally.
I was like, that's what I meant. I didn't mean to snap at you.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was better. Like, no.
It's such an actor thing, though. You're like in the moment, and then later on, your people-pleasing tendencies come
Yes.
in. Like, just so you know, I like didn't mean anything bad. I was just
Like, please hire me back.
Yeah. I mean, I swear.
Like a nice guy.
Okay, Jeff, ready to dive into some questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm full of thanks for saying. I actually didn't read the questions.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
I don't like read. I mean, I watched two of your. I think I watched two of your podcasts before, like when they came out. 'Cause, you know, my friends were on them, but like sometimes I don't like knowing the questions if I prepare too much.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. No, I love that. A lot of the questions are the same for the episodes, so it might sound familiar to you. But the first thing I always like to start with, because I feel like this just lets us inside of your head, is what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Okay. Okay, the best piece of advice. It's not. I think it's just. This is so cynical what I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say it like that. I feel like every parent, when you grow up, has said like, you know, like we'll get like life's not fair.
Yeah.
And like life's not fair. It isn't now. It never will be. And I feel like though, once I started to get older and see that, it was more of like I understood why they said it. Like when I was 15, I had a late birthday. My birthday's in October, so everybody started turning 16, getting their driver's licenses ahead of me, and I had some friends who were getting, like, on their 16th birthday, they got a car. I did not get a car. My parents actually bought, for my 16th birthday, my parents actually bought me a GPS, which, like, I don't know if you know what a TomTom or, like, Garmin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so they got me a TomTom. I didn't have a car. I had a GPS and no car. But then, like, I got a job and, like, bought my own car. But it was one of those things, like, you know, there's other things that, you know, came easier to me that might not be easy for some. But like, it's not fair. You're going to have to work harder than other people for certain things. And like in all, but then there's other things that you're going to have easier that other people are going to have to work for. But the things that you work for are probably more satisfying anyway. Like my first car was freaking awesome. Like the roles that you get, you're going to have to work for. Some people are going to have it easier. They're going to have connections, but it's like you're going to get there. Just it's not going to be that easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so is there any other ones? Like one, yeah. I guess it's more like a lesson, a quote. I think I was like. I did like being a teenage guy, like stupid things. But we went through this phase where we were big into cliff jumping, like jumping off cliffs in the water. Mm-hmm. And somebody told us about this quarry. And we couldn't find it the first time. We went back to Google Earth, found it. And the second time I went there, I went with my friend and his dad and a couple other kids. And I say kids, we were probably 17 or 18 years old, but there were different sized cliffs, so like the second time I went with my buddy's dad, there was like a super high one, and to the point where like I wouldn't go barefoot, I needed shoes, and so I'm like looking over the edge, and this guy like his kids and they're just like one of those families that does like all things extreme sports. Like he was in the X Games.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was in the X Games, so like a long time ago. So he like sees me looking over the edge, and like granted, like I knew I couldn't like walk back down because I'm gonna get made fun of, and but he just looked at me and he's like, "It ain't nothing but a thing." And I was like, in the moment, like, then I jumped. But now, like, looking back, I'm sure he doesn't even remember saying that. But it was, like, one of those things, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's just a thing. It's like, it's just a thing. Do it. Yeah. Like, if somebody else can do it, I can do it, too.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things, too, they feel so daunting in the moment. Like, I'm sure that felt like the biggest thing you've ever done. But it's like, here we are, you know, a decade later or whatever. And it's like, yeah.
I mean, my teeth are all still in my mouth. You know, like... But yeah, it's like one of those. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I don't know when you started this. Was it daunting to figure out like how am I going to start?
Kind of, yeah. It's something I'd had on my mind for years before I ever even did it.
Years.
Yeah, years. Mm-hmm.
And then what made you do it?
The fact that, because in my brain, this is like I was like I'm going to be an A-lister with a big movie under my belt, and then I'm going to start a podcast and talk to actors.
You're going to come out
here
being able,
right, exactly. But then I was like, you know, you're on set, you're working, you meet cool people. You know how it is too. We all like end up on set. You're like telling people about your stories, da da da. And I'm like, I'm learning so much from people, and like, it just in my head, I was like, this could be like a podcast episode. The people in my network right now are so cool, and we're all working towards that next thing that I was like, I might as well just do it now. And then you're right. Once you start it, it's like whatever, you know. It's weekly, and it's a beautiful thing, but it's so much simpler than we make things out to be.
Yeah, ain't nothing but a thing.
Mm-hmm. You did jump, you said?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's a video of that one. But,
no proof.
Yeah, but it was like the classic, like that place was like the classic music video thing where you have to walk through like somebody's backyard, cut through the town dump.
Oh, okay.
Then there's a barbed wire fence that somebody pulls back the chain link fence. And you're like,
go!
You can only go on Sundays because that's when the dump is closed. You have to walk through. Like it was like like those like old movie, like music video things. Like shh, like don't tell your parents. Like we're coming here. Yeah, it was such a. nobody even knew how deep it was. But we lived. Did you just break the fourth wall and say yeah?
Yeah. I do that periodically throughout the podcast.
Perfect,
Keeps
alright.
engaging.
Still
Feel
waiting.
free to do it too. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about how you fell into the world of acting. When did you come out to LA? How'd you start? Everything like that.
So yeah. I had no intention of being an actor.
Which I think is what makes you so cool. And like
I'm-
so many people in this space is like, you guys just are somehow making a living off of this craft, and it wasn't even intentional.
But did you want to be in like the entertainment space when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Where are you from again? Sorry,
Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. Well, like I guess I never like my only exposure to like acting like from a kid like when I saw movies. I guess I didn't realize that was like a job. Like I just didn't think that like those movies. I don't know. I had no idea. It never even clicked that like that's like a person
Yeah.
acting. My exposure to it was like seeing like the musicals in like middle school and high school.
Nerds.
I didn't say it. No, but like I used to build in high school. I built their sets for them.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
like I would go because I was handy and I had a background in carpentry. I would build those sets, but I watched them. I wasn't a singer. Like and there were like a lot of the plays were musicals. I'm like I'm not a singer. Like I would like watch them. Like this isn't something like that I wanted. That's like it's just no. Like this isn't me. So then I went on to school. I went to school for construction management. That's what I did after college. I was running commercial construction jobs. My smallest one was $55 million. My biggest one was 120. And then it was like random. But I was like into fitness. Like in college, I worked out, but it was basically because.
Were you an athlete or more like bodybuilding?
I mean, I didn't play sports in college.
Okay.
I played sports growing up. I did hockey for 12 years. I did
okay.
baseball. So I like played sports. A lot of action sports, snowboarding, wakeboarding, that kind of stuff. But then in college, I started like junior year working out more of like I spent a lot of time on the beach, like more of the vain reason to work
Totally.
out. Like I was like,
Were you competing or anything, or you were just into the gym?
like
Okay.
I just wanted some eyes on it. Like I just wanted to like peacock a little bit. Like it was nice to get the compliment of like you walk around like, oh, do you work out? And I was like, no, just. But so then, like, it just kind of was like something I enjoyed doing. Started working, and then in like, I think it was like 2020, right before COVID, I started posting a couple pictures of myself like on Instagram. But like my Instagram was full of like, I take a picture of like the Coca-Cola bottle,
Yeah.
yeah, like
I went to LA. My agent was like, "We're deleting that. We're deleting that."
yeah, it was like random things. Like it was just
Totally.
like and so then I had a photographer from New York message me. He's like, "Hey, we should like, I'm a photographer. Would you be down to shoot?" And I was like, "No, thank you." I shot it down and he was like, I guess a fairly well known photographer in New York, but I was just like, it wasn't my thing. Like no, like I work out just for kind of myself and. The only exposure I had to like getting photos taken of yourself was like when your mom took you to get like the Christmas card taken at like Kohl's or Macy's or JCPenney or wherever it was, and I was like, and or like and like get in front of the window, like get closer to your sister, get closer to your brother. And I was like, no. So my friend actually Eric Gilmet, who we had on the podcast, he was my roommate in college. That's where we met. So he was out here modeling full time, and I told him, I was like, yeah, this photographer reached out, and he's like, well, you should do it. And I'm like, no. Like, just not my thing. So finally, he convinced me to do it. And I was like, okay. Did the photo shoot. The photographer was so nice. Fast forward, he actually turned out to be Noah Fearnley's mother agent, who like discovered Noah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
This world is so small.
Yeah, random connection.
Wow.
Who I didn't even know who Noah was until like I met
Right.
and like connected the dots years later.
Totally.
But so I got the photos and was like, oh, like when you see how like an artist who uses a camera like knows how to photograph you, like this is kind of cool, like
Yeah.
little confidence booster. I'm like,
Totally. It's so like artsy, and modeling is so interesting because like as human beings I feel like you don't even realize how you can look sometimes.
Yeah.
There are still photos that I look at of myself and I'm like with the lights and the makeup and just everything, I'm like it's crazy because
Yeah.
it really is an art form in a sense. Yeah.
how they like know how to like both sides. Like and I had no clue what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look back now and like thank you so much if you're watching this, because I had no clue. Like I just stood there and like
Yeah.
moved my head
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
And he was so nice though. And but when he posted me, like I got those photos, he posted me, I posted some, and that kind of led to just like some other opportunities where it's like I go down to Miami and shoot. I go out to this, like Lake of the Ozarks. I went down to Mexico, like
Wow.
and
Just all freelance
yeah.
stuff. Okay.
A lot of it too is like I was still running construction jobs, so it was
Totally.
like I had no time. So it was just like
Yeah.
I showed there for like 2 days. Then during COVID, we were working a ton. Our jobs never shut down, so we were just like we're working a ton. I got so burnt out. I literally got burnt out. And
How many hours a week were you
a
working?
lot,
Because
like-
that's not like a 40-hour work week, vibe,
no,
is it? Yeah.
no. So my minimum, like I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go to the gym, be at the job, then I get home like around 6:30 or so. And then your phone would ring all out, like
Yeah.
all hours. Like our superintendent was crazy. He'd get to one of my last jobs was on. He'd get there at like 2:33 in the mornings when he started his day. So if he needed something, he'd just call you. So your phone would ring. And then we'd do Saturdays and Sundays. Like we'd rotate who covered, and being salary, get paid extra for that. But so yeah, so I was just burnt out. A lot of people that I knew were kind of at working from home, trying other things at the same time. I didn't get to do that. So finally, after a while, I'm like, all right, like I'm taking a break. I'm out of here. And I was very reluctant because nobody knew I was modeling or anything at the time who I worked with, and I was kind of like, I didn't want that to get out in the construction
Totally,
site.
yeah. I'm leaving to be a model.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't want that. But when I finally put my 2 weeks in, and I made up my mind, like I finished the project I was on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to come out to LA. I had no plan. I'm like, I'm going to come out to LA and I guess be a model. I guess. And because when I quit, they're like, well, what company are you going to? And I'm like, I'm not going to another company. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm moving to LA to be a model. And it was so hysterical because the reactions I got were not at all. They're like, that's awesome. Like literally every person there was like, you're young, go do it. And that was like really cool. Like,
yeah, that is cool. That's another thing, like we make things up to be so much in our head or like so negative, and sometimes what we're even putting on other people's not even what they think.
Yeah.
It's just us. That's awesome to hear.
Every single person, like I expected, again, you're on the construction site, I expected to get so much crap.
Yeah, totally.
Every person was like, what's the worst that happens? Like it doesn't work and then you
Come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I had somebody like, doors open, like come back if you want, which, I mean, granted I always had that fallback, so it was kind of like, it was kind of nice having that, but no, every single person, that's what I tell people, I'm like, it was so scary. I was like, I didn't have one person that was like, are you sure? Like, I do it. Came out here, did some modeling, and then, like, that led to music videos, which led to, some commercial, like, little, like, where, when you're in it for, like, that long. Like, I did a Pepsi commercial, and that was cool. It was, like, my parents, when I was at home visiting, I'm like, I'm in this commercial. I mean, granted, like, if you blink,
Of course.
you're going to miss me. But
Yeah.
that's the back of my head. Like, and then somebody was like, one of the vertical things presented itself, and they're like, do you want to do it? I'm like, sure. Like, and I had no idea what I was doing.
When did you do your first one? Like what month?
So the first, I did a day player, and I think it was end of November of 2023.
Oh,
but that was one
okay.
where, like, I knew it was, I found it on Backstage, it was a page. Like, it was basically like, I saw it, I'm like, sweet.
Yeah,
I'm going to go in, do a project, it's a paycheck, hit the road. And I went in there, and I was like, I had no idea. Like literally, like, all right, we're going to do blocking. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like, I mean, for those
Yeah, we
I
are.
don't know, blocking is basically like figuring out where, when you walk into the scene, where you're gonna, what mark you're gonna hit, where I'm gonna stand, all that. I literally had no idea. Like, we're gonna block, and I like went up to the producer, like, are you ready? I'm like, oh, I haven't been blocked yet. Like zero clue, but I did it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then in January of 2024, I did a villain role, and that was again too, where like I showed up to set. I had never spoken like dialogue like that on camera, and just like faked my way through it, like literally pretended like I knew what I was doing, and like it was fine. Like it was like everybody around me was super cool, and like I kind of like I didn't really let on to the director. I never did anything before, but I was like, if you have notes, just like feel free to like let me know. But yeah, and then that one came out, and then that kind of just gradually like kept going, and it's so much fun. Like there are so many worse jobs.
There are, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm literally looking around, I'm like, wait, we're getting paid? Like, literally, I was just like, is this like, is this like allowed? Like, it wasn't a career day, or like the career fair in like college,
Right,
like this wasn't.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, my stomach.
I almost wonder, like, if you were a kid, if you did think it was a realistic career, if you would have been drawn to it or no.
I don't know. Well, I guess like my family's very blue collar. Like we're all like blue collar workers. And
Okay, totally.
And I don't know what it would have been like if I said like, oh, I want to be a movie. Like if I told
Yeah.
like I want to be a movie star, they'd be like, huh?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It was also like again, I had no friends who were like singer.
It
Like
wasn't even in front of you.
no,
Yeah.
never. Maybe I don't know.
So I'm curious now, because at this point you've only been acting like a little bit over a year,
Yeah.
basically. So did you did you take classes in the midst of the verticals, or have you literally just been learning by being on set the whole time?
I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I've never taken an acting class.
Okay.
I just they were keeping me busy, and I'm also very much like, I don't know if it's just like the air, like where I was raised, but like I tell the director, I'm like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Like
Totally.
if you have criticism, even like my co-stars, if there's like in this vertical space, there are people who are like insanely talented.
Oh, yeah.
And like, which I like. Like, I think some of the early, like when I started working with people who were like, especially as a lead, or like the lead, my co-stars were way better than me. I like love it.
You rise to the level of those
Yes.
around you.
Bingo.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, like growing up, like playing sports, it was like if you were the younger kid, like playing with the older kids, like you're gonna get so much better.
Totally.
So like, yeah, I just kind of. Wait, what was the question?
I was just asking if like you'd taken classes
yeah.
or things like that in the midst of the verticals, or if you were just learning by doing. But
sorry, I do that a lot. I
that's
get on a
almost better.
tangent.
No, you're good. That's almost better though. You learn more on set than you do in classes.
Yeah.
Like you're in the ultimate, especially in the vertical world. You're in your life is acting boot camp, and you get paid for it. So.
Literally, it's just like we're doing 10 pages today. Like go out and do it. But when they're working with somebody who's way better, you just have to figure it out. And same with the direction. Like if I'm doing something wrong, you have a no, just tell me. But like tell me how, like what you wanted, or like, you know, how you want it to come off, or what I could do better. Like give me something, but like don't hold back. Like be very blunt. Same with my co-stars. I'm like, hey, if you see something that's like better, or that I could do better, like just tell me. And then I also go in like knowing that there's something to be learned from every set.
1000%. Yeah.
So like I remember just every set. I remember when I worked with one of my co-stars, we did the rehearsal. She was reading everything very monotone, and I didn't understand why at first. Then I picked up. I was like, "Oh, you're reading it. You're just getting the lines down."
Yeah.
And then we do the scene. You're gonna just do it as you feel it, kind of deal. This way you don't have like. And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, okay." Like I just like
Totally, yeah. So you are learning the craft while on set as well.
And then these verticals, I think too, they come out so fast, which is what I like. I don't know about you. I'm more self-critical, like very self-critical. So I like watching mine to see what I could do better. Because there's times where I'm like, oh, I thought my face was like really expressive, and then I looked, I'm like, oh, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So I like being able to watch them back quickly to see like what I could do better, or just like seeing the arc of when I first started to like what I am now. Like I know I'm no Oscar-winning actor here, but it's like from when I started to now in like a year, I'm like, oh, wow. Like I go back to 1 year, I'm like, oof.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And it's ever evolving. A year from now, you'll look back at your stuff now, and so that's the cool thing about acting is there's no like level. You know, you can always learn more and do better. And I've always preached too that like life experience makes you a better actor, and having like the career you had and the modeling opportunities and things like that, everything makes you the person you are, and that's almost more important than any training, I think. So.
Oh yeah, just being on set, and like I always hang around too. One of the ADs the other day I was working with, he was like, "You're always like, if I'm not in the scene, sometimes I'm just like hanging by the director, watching the monitors." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause I'm just like learning. Like I'm getting paid to be here. Like instead of I'm gonna grab my snack and then come back over here." But no, I think it's like learning on set, and these have evolved. Well, we did ours last year, but it was like in the year that I've been doing them, like the evolution, to me at least, has come like a long way.
Totally,
like,
yeah.
Like I know people are like, I'm not doing verticals. Now they're like, oh, like there's some like talented people in that space. I'm like,
better writing and things like that.
Yeah.
Everything is starting to change too. There's also, and I think this is public knowledge now too, but there's like been quite a few SAG verticals that I've seen lately, backed by like Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, Whoopi Goldberg.
Really?
They're like executive producers on them, yeah. And this is really interesting too. They are still paying like their SAG, but they're still paying like similar vertical rates.
Okay.
Like it was $300 a day for the leads even. But the script was really, really good, and I saw like a horror one and a comedy one. So the writing I thought was really, really good, very like indie format, but vertical for a new app that's coming out.
Like the script and everything like that, I call that non-monetary compensation.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's not, I'm not getting I can't pay my rent with it, but there's like, there's a different value that holds.
Totally.
Oh, those people are backing them.
Yeah, which is very interesting. But it's also interesting to me too that despite them being SAG, they're doing the SAG ultra low budget, of course, there, because it's almost like you're stealing the vertical like model but making it SAG, but then even paying us less than the non-union ones do, which is like wild. So I don't know like what residuals will be and things like that, but I know I want so badly. I know a few people that have auditioned for them, including myself, but I'm like, I want somebody to book them so I can get the tea on what it's like filming them and everything.
I had somebody I was out to dinner the other night with a couple vertical actors, and someone like across the table was like, "You're doing a Netflix one right now?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "They're like, yeah, like that's the rumor around town." I'm like,
Netflix verticals?
Yeah, well, first I'm not doing Netflix vertical right now, but like if we want to keep that rumor going, like
yeah, right. Tell everybody.
Yeah, I was like,
tell all the casting directors.
Bingo. I was like, you can, but I was like, how did that even start?
Yeah.
But I was like, feel free to like spread that one.
Yeah, right. That's been so interesting in this space too, is like stuff spreads like wildfire in the vertical world. It almost feels like high school a little bit sometimes, where I'm like, okay, we need to like settle down. Okay, so I would be curious, since you've been like kind of learning acting on set and things like that, for any new actors out there who are like just now starting to book work and just getting to their first set, if you could practically give like a couple pieces of advice, what would they be?
I think one thing, if you're just starting on the journey, one is just like, I wish I knew how hard this was. Like I had like when I moved to LA too, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna model, and then someone's like, you know, that whole thing. This sounds like, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. Like it is just getting in auditions. Like I realized was like an achievement in itself, because I didn't know that, and it sounds like, I guess not vain, but when outside of the space growing up, like I worked. I used to mow lawns, I was a camp counselor, I worked in marinas, I was a boat captain. I did a lot of things, and I worked at a fast food restaurant, and I never applied. I don't think I ever applied for a job and didn't get it. Like, so when I came out here, I was like, oh, man, you apply to jobs, you get it. Nope. Like, not even a little bit. But then I also learned, like, all right, like, the audition, like, in construction we used to call it free con, which is like, you don't get paid for it, but like the auditions work itself, so like put the work into it, like you have to, and then like booking the job is still like, just getting booked is still just like the start of when the work starts too. Like show prep, I always show up, somebody commented the other day, like I have my binder with my lines in it, and somebody's like how can you do that? I'm like, somebody walks in on your set, like it just is the producer or whatever, like you see somebody walk in with their binder, got all your lines sided, I got notes, they immediately are like, this kid's done some work showing up. So like you gotta prepare, like literally, like you're given the biggest shot just showing up the set, prepare, like know your lines, show up. Traffic in LA is ridiculous, so show up, like plan to get there 15 minutes early. But yeah, like just when you show up, that's literally half what it's about, being prepared. Like you don't want to be the unprepared person. Totally. So like study your lines, like read the script. No, there's nothing worse too. Like I've had it when somebody comes and asks you like, oh, like so in the story, like what happened? And you're like, if they're looking like, I don't know. Like, you know, like I didn't read that far in the script, and you just feel like an idiot. It's just like know your character, know your lines, and be ready. Don't be afraid. I mean, also there's a lot of times I feel like on sets where like you can stand your ground. You don't have to do know your place, but like if there's something you're not comfortable with, you don't have to do it. Like you can, there's give and take. Like I've had plenty of things where I'm not comfortable with it. I also know going in, I have the discussion usually beforehand.
Right.
But if I'm not comfortable with something, I found I'll never say I'm not doing that. I always say, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that, but here's something that I am comfortable with that will probably give you the same intention of what you wanted. But not, but it's something, and I've never really had somebody who's like, no.
Totally. That's like a thing too. That's a big reason I think a lot of people don't do the verticals is like the intimacy aspects and things like that. But I'm kind of a prude, to be quite honest. And I've had a lot of scripts where it'll be like, even I'm playing the mean girl and they're like, she straddles him and like makes out with him. But then I bring up that I'm not super comfortable with that. We get on set and we block it a different way where we don't even have to make out. I'm not straddling him. We're just like do something else, you know. And it's like a lot of the time they're super chill about getting rid of those things, especially if, like you said, you're upfront about it too.
Yeah, if you throw it last minute, it's never a good look. But, like, again, if you read the script, you know.
Totally.
That, and I found, too, like, I've actually talked to, I was on a set, and just, like, being positive on set. Like, that's, like, people pick up on that. Like, I was on set with 2 other actors, and one was, like, a complainer, and the other girl was super positive. And I told her at the end, I'm like, just so you know, like, people see that.
Yeah.
Like, people notice that. And, like, that's half of being on set is like, are you like when they're going through casting, the producer remembers, you're like, oh, they were super fun, like they made it, like they came in, knew their lines, super fun to be around, didn't complain. Like, we're on set, there's free snacks. I keep saying it. It was right. I was on set the other day and the AD, I got there, you know, a little earlier than my call time, and they were running a little behind, so I was probably there for like 2 hours before I got on camera. And the AD's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, for what? He's like, I came here, I was eating the free snacks, I was chatting, looking at my lines, I'm like, getting paid, like, I'm paid to be here.
Right.
Like, you could be out jackhammering, or, like, picking up garbage, like,
totally.
I got makeup getting put on me, like, are you kidding me? Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also, like, I know, like, I had a friend who took an acting class, and, so it's not, I just haven't had the time to take acting classes, and also, like, I know this doesn't really work in the same context, but when I was in college, my best professors were people who were in the industry, like they were in the industry for a while, left, and, you know, maybe in retirement, they went back to teach. And you could tell, like, who had the real world knowledge was very apparent. And that's sometimes my acting thing. Like, I want to find the right acting coach who, like, went through the industry. But also, like, if they're a very successful actor, they're probably not coaching at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like,
or more so like maybe retired. It is hard. You bring up a good point. It is hard to find a good coach in LA because there's so many people that like call themselves good coaches, but they've never been working actors. They've just like gone to school for acting and like learned the craft. That was my problem. I was a theater major in college, but everybody who was like a theater teacher at my school, all they've done is also do the same theater program. None of them have like gone out and really worked on anything. So I was like, what the heck? All you guys have done is like local theater. I would much rather learn from somebody, like you said, that's actually doing the thing you want to do.
And there's people who are fantastic too. There's some like great in sports coaches who never played. They're like great coaches.
Yeah.
But that was just more my thing. Like, I don't know. I just like somebody who they tell me like how it really is. You know, like and then if you go in, like, I had a friend take an acting class and he's like, when I was like, well, what'd you get most out of it? Was it a technique or whatever? And he's like, they told me that I wasn't like the best person in the room, and I was like, well, it's great they humbled you, but like that's why I'm at this acting class. I don't need someone to tell me I'm not the best.
Yeah.
So that's when I go to set. I just like very much like look around, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Like I tell people that even when I used to work at my other job, it was like these kids came up from college, and I would tell them very apparently, I'm like, hey, you went to college. These people might not have, but like telling you, like, you can learn a lot. Like, go out and ask questions. You ask a question, nobody's gonna make fun of you.
Yeah. That's like the best way to learn too is like we were talking about earlier, just chatting with the other actors on set. You learn so much from them, and like I'm always happy. It's kind of my favorite thing when there's like a actress who's a couple years younger than me, like trying to pick my brain about things. Like I love giving people advice and helping them. Like I wouldn't be where I am had people not done that for me. So nobody's gonna care. We're
not a gatekeeper. No, like you said, I've never had somebody like I remember somebody was new and they walked in. They actually asked the same thing, like, what's blocking? And I wasn't like like, look, get a load of this person. Doesn't even know what blocking is. No, I was like, nobody's gonna make fun of you. Just like, I'd make fun of you more if you pretended like you did, if you knew everything.
Totally,
and then didn't. That's when I'm like,
totally.
But you just go, learn from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody I've met in this space is so cool, and like,
it is such a blessing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has been like one of the top things that I'm so grateful for from the verticals is just the people we've met from it and connected with. Mm-hmm.
The vertical space is wild. I was like even just like the community of actors and fans. Like even fans have like been like, oh yeah, like I've made friends through these, and like even the actors, the amount of actors like we know now, just like we get together, and I'm like, I hope it stays. I'm like, are we gonna be like the next like group of like?
I think 100%. There are at least, not everybody, of course, but there are going to be a few that absolutely are like, yeah. Which is, again, kind of, that was one of the things I thought was cool about this podcast, too, is I'm very excited for people one day to get to look back on, like, 10, 20 years ago when they did their first, like, little shindig while they were in the midst of the come-up, which is kind of exciting, too. But, yeah, I know. I do think it'll be like Jimmy Fallon one day. They'll be like pulling up verticals and like roasting people, and, like stuff back in the day.
Oh,
I'm not
man.
even kidding. Like on the talk shows and stuff.
It's so easy to like even.
100%. Yeah, even when people do it to me, I'm like, yeah, they told me to do that, but you're right. That was great.
Yeah,
it looks great.
My have your parents watched any of the verticals you've done?
A little bit. My
Okay.
grandma really likes them.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay.
How about yours?
No.
Okay.
Like they don't really. Because my mom has been like, oh, did I watch? I'm like, no. I'm like, you. I was like, Mom, just watch.
Maybe a villain one you've done.
Yeah, I was like, I post clips on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
just
Okay,
check out.
okay.
I was like, those are the highlights. Like, check out the.
Yeah.
I don't need my mom.
Yeah.
I don't need my mom seeing. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've only showed them like villain bestie type roles. I wouldn't show them.
And I've tried to explain it because like I feel like it's tough. Like I've tried to explain to her like what these are, and finally,
yeah.
She saw a YouTube video explaining them the other day, so she started sending them around. Of like,
yeah, even the general public. Because for a minute, I don't know about you, but even like last year when people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm an actor," and I'm like trying to describe the verticals. I'm like, "I swear, I'm like a working actor." There are these like vertical soap operas that like did it, and I feel like a lot of people didn't know. But now I feel like the minute I say it, people usually know right away what we're talking about.
and guess what? Now everybody wants in.
Kind of, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
It was real. I think it's really cool to be in at the start. Like where we kind of were, I don't want to say we're in the bottom, but like we're at the start, and there's definitely like a huge value to that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, no, my mom is not. My family has not seen. I think some of her friends have. Like even like I started to like romance novels, like the romance novel covers, and it was like
So you probably already had a fan base before verticals from that, right?
a little bit, like because yeah, they're very similar fan bases, but. Even my grandmother, because she finally got on social media, and she wanted one of the books like that was on the cover of, and I was like, oh, like no, like mm-mm.
Yeah.
And so my mom got her one for Christmas, and I was like, can you just please not, like no offense to the authors, I'm like being my face is on it. Can you just not read or like read the book? I don't need like. Yeah, we don't need to like. I don't need my grandmother. Like.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Does your grandma watch the ones you're in?
She does, like,
Okay.
mostly the, like, mean girl best friend. I've only ever done 2 leads because I'm a prude about intimacy stuff, but I won't let her watch those. And I don't think she would want to watch those anyway, either.
The intimacy scenes, people have asked me about them, and, like, where you've done them, I was like, it's not, like, they look really steamy on camera, and, like, in the moment, though.
Right, yeah.
For this thing.
Oh, absolutely. You hear A-listers talk about that all the time, too.
I was like,
Yeah.
somebody asked her, like, so, like, I'm like, nope. I'm like, it is... You have like everything is rehearsed. There's no like
1,000%,
at least for me, there's never been like a spark. And
Right,
it's like I'm more thinking about where my hand is supposed to go.
Yes.
Okay, I'm supposed to turn my head this way.
Yeah, and especially the vertical framing makes it hard too.
Mm-hmm, like this way.
It's very mechanical.
Yep, 100%. Which
choreography.
is Yep, it's like I'm gonna and everything is like I'm gonna trace your chin out.
Right.
This. Or, yeah, I feel like it's similar. I'm glad it looks that way on camera. Like glad it always looks great, but no, I'm like in the moment, it's like the least.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of people in the room with you. So I always ask the sound guy and camera guy, I'm like, when you were in film school, is this what you thought you were going to be doing?
I don't know. Those are the moments too where I just like randomly become super present too. Is I'm like, dang, is this what I thought being an actor was? And now I'm just like here laying in this bed. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah,
but
you're like, is lunch coming?
Right. Literally. We are slowly coming to a close here, but I would love to ask, I know I kind of already asked you this, but if you just had to summarize one piece of advice for actors, if you could just tell them one thing, what would that thing be?
One thing, if you really want to be an actor, just keep trying. Like it's a numbers game too. It's getting those auditions, and eventually one's gonna hit. Like again, that was a huge wake up for me. I was like, hold on, I applied for a job and I didn't get a job, but it's really about being persistent, putting yourself out there, and getting on set. I told somebody that the other day. Like, well, I want to do a lead role. I'm like, you're on set. Like, keep doing that. Like, eventually it's going to come. Like, get those reps in. It will come. It's very few people have the Matthew McConaughey experience where you're just like, oh, like first role, Dazed and Confused. It's just not like that, which I had to learn very quickly. I thought it was like that. I was like, sweet, you go to LA, made a movie, perfect. No, it's keep trying and just keep putting in the effort. It will come. It's just usually not an overnight success, which nobody really talks about, right? Like, you don't you post the good things. You don't say like, oh man, I've been out here for years and like, you know, which I guess I still probably had a quicker rise than some people. Somebody said that the other day, but I'm like, it was luck. Like, it was a numbers game where I kept auditioning, and then like luck that the verticals happened to be like, looking for a guy who I fit the bill for. Just like keep going.
I love that. Okay, I always end with fast versus questions. Are you ready?
Oh my god, I'm sorry. My answer's going forever.
They're never actually
okay,
rapid
I was
fire,
like,
but I just always preface.
I'm like, I go on a tangent. I literally said that to somebody. I'm like, the podcast I'm on, I go on tangents, and then like I go back and I'm like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, it's good that we like long answers. I love long form content. It's making a rise again. Favorite quote?
Favorite quote? There's two.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite. Like, I like the Matthew McConaughey's one where like, you just gotta keep living, man. LIVI, and it's just like lay back, like just keep going, like just keep going. Like it'll, like people like, oh, I feel like somebody said that to me. They're like, I feel like you have had things really easy, and I'm like, no. I was like, I guess I just don't. Like, I'm more of the shit happens. Like,
yes, it's a perspective thing more than anything else. I know people, especially people that lean more towards like positivity. I think people are always like, you've never been through anything. I get that sometimes too, and I'm like, no, I just don't talk about my garbage.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, like fine. It happened. Okay, like it happened. How am I gonna get on? How am I gonna get past it? It happened. Yeah, and then when that gets a laugh out of people, a lot of times they'll be like, I just do that to stay in shape. Like you like, you know, everything. Yeah, just enough to stay in shape. You eat healthy? Yeah, just enough. I always get really parents love it.
Yeah. What's something everyone should watch, movie or show?
I'm really not a cinema guy.
It could be a show.
My favorite movie is Miracle, which is a hockey movie. I guess movie everyone I love. Talking about this today, The Sandlot. You ever seen The Sandlot baseball movie?
A long time ago.
As you watch it, as you get older, the perspective changes to like kids having fun to like, oh man, like as the kids drift away at the end, you're like, as an adult, you're like, man, like I played with my friends once for the last time. So as you watch it more and more, like what you get out of it kind of changes a little. Maybe Forrest Gump. I don't know. What's it? You know,
yeah, I need to rewatch Sandlot. I never got.
Wait till you get older.
We're
gonna start going like, oh my god, like I drifted away from my friends, and we all like started living our own lives, and like it happened without you knowing it. Yeah, tear will fall. Just a single tear, like in a vertical.
Exactly. Out of this side of your eye, where your tear duct is not located. Pickles, yay or nay?
Oh no.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Visceral reaction.
Yeah. No. I don't do pickles. When I was no. I don't. Yeah. In the Northeast, they used to have these restaurants called Friendlies. They still make ice cream, but it was their target market was like under the age of 10 or over the age of 60, and it was always like grilled cheese burgers. Their ice cream was fantastic though. But when I was a kid, if the pickles came out and they touched my fries,
you wouldn't eat them.
Whole meal went back. I couldn't eat them. No.
That's why I asked that question. You either love them or hate them. I feel like there's no in between with pickles. It's one of those things.
Do you like pickles?
I do like pickles.
Okay. Dill.
Not sweet ones, but dill I can vibe with.
There's different types of pickles?
Yeah. Sweet and dill.
Do you drink the juice?
No, but they do in Japan. It's in all the vending machines, fun fact. It's like a regular thing there.
I've done a pickleback shot one time. Oh. Which is like you chase it with pickles.
Yeah.
But that was more like later on in the night where I'm not tasting anything.
Yeah, I don't even remember it. Favorite thing to do in LA?
For me, it's just I live a little outside LA, but it's the beaches. I like beaches down south. That's kind of just my thing. I actually don't do like I've been in LA for 3 years. I feel like I haven't done so much. Like I've never been to like the Griffith Observatory.
Oh.
I've never done. I've driven on Hollywood Boulevard, but I've never like. I've been like people are like, have you ever done this? I'm like I don't know. Like I didn't know. the beaches.
Yeah.
Unless you're a tourist stuff. Like, if somebody comes for tours, so you gotta hit them Santa Monica Pier.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
gotta, like, go to Venice Beach. You
Yeah.
gotta check off the things. But
Mm-hmm.
now that I live here, it's just like,
Maybe when somebody visits you, you guys can go do all the
I
basic
do,
things.
I've done that when my
Check it
parents
out.
came out. I'm like, all right, Venice Beach, see the skate
Yeah.
park, go take a picture of the Santa Monica Pier. And then when I took them to Hollywood, because I want to see Hollywood. We drove up the PCH a little bit. I'm like, Hollywood's not what you think,
I know,
unfortunately,
it's
anymore.
disappointing, but
And so we were driving down from the PCH, and it was funny. It was in the car. I don't know if she remembers. My mom was like, "This is nice. Like, this isn't what you said." And I was like, "We're in Beverly Hills." And like, as it went on, she's like, "Oh, we got to finally drove down Sunset Boulevard." And I was like, "Does anyone want to get out?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Okay."
you should take them to downtown. That's where
Yeah,
the good
yeah.
stuff is. Recent obsession.
I get obsessed with a lot of things, like especially if there's like a measurable. That's why I love acting. You can see like your growth, right?
Yeah.
Like I love having a tangible thing at the end. Something I've been doing recently, like myself and two of my friends will play Catan, which is a board game, and it's a kind of like it's a little bit of a nerdy board game, but it's like you get once you lose once, you're like, all right, I gotta win.
Okay.
And so we're like line it up, like we're literally just like, nope, go again. So it's just like we've been playing Catan
All right.
every Friday. Well, unless I'm working,
Rock on.
which is a double-edged sword because I love playing, but also like if I'm playing, that means I'm not on set.
You just bring it with you to set. In between.
That's part of my rider.
Yeah,
So-
right. I know.
I had that the other day. The AD. I didn't realize like I'm not a big clap on rap person. Like I don't
Yeah.
like it for me. Like I like clapping for the project as a whole.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But to me, it's kind of like when people sing "Happy Birthday" at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't like love it, and I was telling the AD, I'm like, we don't need to clap like that. I'll just kind of.
They did it anyway.
And so he was telling me though, he's like he used to do some Balenciaga campaigns, and he's like, you should see some of the riders that we had for like what people wanted when they rapped.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, noted. Like, can I put that?
Right. Yeah. Is there anything you would like to say? I always like to leave the floor open.
Mm.
Anything you feel like you didn't touch on? We have a lot of newbie actors that watch, and there'll probably be some Jeff Violette fans watching as well, according to my DMs.
Oh, good. Sorry about it. No, I love the fans in the space for me have been nothing but positive. But yeah, I mean, these verticals have. It sounds like I've never said this, I guess, but these verticals have actually like changed my like life trajectory. Like a full-time actor is like insane to me, but these verticals have allowed that. So like, if you've watched these verticals, like thank you so much for all the support. I think for all of us, they kind of changed. Our lives. So like the community that it's built is just like wild. So I really I wouldn't be on this podcast if it wasn't for viewers of
Yeah.
I mean maybe we would have bumped into each other somewhere else down the road, but like no, also like take the chance. Like I said earlier, I didn't have a single person who said like, oh, like probably shouldn't. Like a lot of people were like, oh, who are older, maybe in their 50s or 60s, who kind of like I'm past the stage like where I have my family now, like I can't totally try something new. They're like, so if I could go back, like do it. Like just if you want to try something, like go for it.
Yeah, and then if you fail, like at least you don't have that regret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
that's everything
worst?
in life.
The worst that happened when I moved out here, I'm like the worst that happens is I spend I blow a little bit of money, which I mean, is granted not the best thing anyway, but I mean I can
Right.
go.
It comes back.
It
You make more.
Exactly. So I'm like, just try. Like literally, the worst thing that happens is you go back with your tail between your legs. And I was like, and still if I did, like even after that first year, if I didn't stay and tough it out, the stories I had
Yes.
were
that's
like
a big thing. Yeah.
wild. Like when I go home now and people ask about things and like, what if you you bumped into who? And I'm like LA is a crazy place.
It is. Yeah.
But so if you want to try it, like just go for it. Like again, if somebody else is doing it, so can you.
Mm-hmm.
I look at if somebody else can do it, like I can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good right now, but like I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just go for it. Like I was so afraid. I mean, it was like weeks I sat there. Or it was actually more like a year. I'm like, do I do it? Do I not? And once I finally made my mind up, then it was like, what date am I gonna pick? Like what's the date that I'm gonna quit my job? Like maybe if I hold on another 2 more months, I'm gonna get X amount of dollars. Like I turned down. I left a month before I got a massive bonus. I finally was just like, yeah, I can't, like, I'm out. But just like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Just go for it. Ask questions, do it.
Yeah, whatever that is for you. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.